Is this it, Toronto? Is this the moment the Maple Leafs finally shed the shackles of past disappointments and make the bold, decisive move that transforms them from perennial contenders into legitimate champions? Or are we, once again, simply witnessing another tantalizing whisper of hope, a fleeting mirage in the hockey desert that promises so much but delivers so little? The air around Scotiabank Arena is thick with anticipation, a palpable blend of desperate optimism and weary skepticism, as news breaks that could redefine the Maple Leafs' immediate future. For years, the narrative surrounding the Toronto Maple Leafs has been one of immense talent, undeniable potential, and a frustrating inability to consistently translate that into playoff success. Fans have ridden a roller coaster of emotions, from the soaring highs of regular season dominance to the crushing lows of early playoff exits. Now, a new opportunity has emerged, one that could inject precisely the kind of dynamic, cost-effective scoring and youthful energy this team so desperately craves. The hockey world is buzzing with the news. Yegor Chinakhov, the talented Russian winger, has officially requested a trade out of Columbus. And within mere minutes of that bombshell hitting the wires, the collective consciousness of the hockey punditry and a ravenous fanbase turned, almost instinctively, towards one destination: Toronto. It's a scenario that feels tailor-made for the Maple Leafs, a puzzle piece that seems to fit perfectly into their evolving roster. While there's no official indication yet that General Manager Brad Treliving has picked up the phone to initiate discussions, the speculation is not just rampant, it's logical. If Treliving does indeed make that call, he possesses a crucial asset, a player who could be the key to unlocking these potentially game-changing trade talks with the Columbus Blue Jackets, Nick Robertson. Let's talk about Yegor Chinakhov, the player at the heart of this burgeoning saga. At just 24 years old, this Russian winger is precisely the kind of calculated upside play the Maple Leafs should be exploring with fervent intensity. Last season, he posted a respectable 28 points in 67 games for the Blue Jackets, showcasing flashes of the offensive prowess that made him a highly touted prospect. But it's not just the raw numbers that make him so appealing. It's the underlying potential, the tantalizing glimpse of what he could become in a more stable, competitive environment. Chinikov is skilled, he's young, and perhaps most importantly for a cap-strapped team like Toronto, he carries a modest cap hit of just $2.1 million. This financial flexibility is paramount, allowing the Leafs to add significant talent without crippling their long-term financial outlook. The departure of Mitch Marner, a move that sent shockwaves through the Leafs faithful, has created a gaping void in the team's top six. While the plan appears to be to replace Marner's elite production by committee, Chinikov could be a pivotal piece in that ever-changing offensive puzzle. He brings a dynamic offensive element, a blend of shooting ability and playmaking that could help diversify the Leafs' attack. Imagine Chinikov, with his modest cap hit, slotting into a top-six role, providing secondary scoring behind the core stars of Auston Matthews, William Nylander, and John Tavares. This isn't just about replacing Marner. It's about evolving the team's offensive identity, making it more resilient, more unpredictable, and less reliant on one or two singular talents. Chinikov represents an opportunity to get more dynamic, to add a legitimate scoring threat who can thrive in a system designed to maximize offensive output. Now, let's turn our attention to the asset that could open the door to these critical negotiations: Nick Robertson. At 23 years old, Robertson is a skilled winger with undeniable offensive promise, yet he has struggled to carve out a consistent role in Toronto. Despite flashes of brilliance, he has often found himself a healthy scratch, a frustrating reality for a player with his talent. Last season, he managed to net 15 goals, demonstrating a similar scoring ability to Chinikov. Having been in the NHL longer than Chinikov, there's a lingering sense among some that Robertson might never truly take that coveted next step in his career within the Leafs organization. However, a change of scenery could be precisely what he needs to unlock his full potential. A fresh start in Columbus, a team in a different stage of its rebuild, could provide Robertson with the consistent ice time and opportunity he needs to flourish. For the Blue Jackets, acquiring a player like Robertson, who has already shown he can score at the NHL level, offers a tangible return for a player who has requested a trade. However, the path to acquiring Chinikov is far from straightforward, and there are two significant hurdles that could complicate a Robertson-led deal. First, reports from The Athletic have suggested that Nick Robertson's trade value has diminished. This isn't a minor detail. It's a critical factor that could impact how Columbus views a potential one-for-one swap. If his value isn't perceived as high, the Blue Jackets might demand more. Second, and perhaps more tellingly, the Fourth Period recently reported that the Blue Jackets tried to include Chinikov in a package for defenseman Noah Dobson before the New York Islanders traded the blue liner to the Montreal Canadiens. This revelation speaks volumes. It strongly hints at how highly the Blue Jackets organization, and specifically General Manager Don Waddell, truly value Chinikov. If they were willing to include him in a package for a top-tier defenseman like Dobson, it underscores their belief in his talent and future potential. In other words, a simple one-for-one swap of Robertson for Chinikov might not be enough to get the Blue Jackets to take these trade talks seriously. Columbus is not in a position where they have to give Chinikov away for pennies on the dollar. They know his value, and they're looking for a return that reflects it. This means the Maple Leafs, if they are truly committed to acquiring Chinikov, will likely need to sweeten the pot. This could involve adding a draft pick, perhaps a second or third round selection, or another mid-tier prospect to a package centered around Robertson. The negotiation will be a delicate dance, a strategic chess match, where both GMs aim to maximize their return. The good news, for Toronto fans desperate for a significant move, is that the wheels are already in motion. Columbus General Manager Don Waddell has publicly confirmed that he is already speaking to teams about Chinikov. This isn't just idle speculation, it's a live situation, an active market for a player who wants out. If Toronto can put together an offer that genuinely makes sense for Waddell, one that he perceives as fair value for a player he clearly holds in high regard, he'll be more than happy to act. The onus is now on Brad Treliving to craft that compelling offer to demonstrate that the Maple Leafs are serious about bringing Chinikov to the Six. The stakes couldn't be higher for the Maple Leafs. With the core group aging and the championship window feeling perpetually open, yet frustratingly elusive, every move matters. Acquiring a player like Chinikov, a young, skilled, and cost-controlled winger, could be the difference maker. He's not just a scoring threat. He's a player who can grow with the team, a long-term asset who fits the modern NHL game. The potential for a Robertson-led package to at least open the door is there, but Treliving must be prepared to go beyond a simple swap. This is about more than just adding a player. It's about signaling intent, about demonstrating a commitment to building a truly formidable roster capable of going the distance. So, as the trade winds swirl and the hockey world holds its breath, the question remains: will the Toronto Maple Leafs seize this golden opportunity? Will Brad Treliving make the decisive move that finally pushes this team over the hump, or will Chinikov become another what if in the long, storied, and often heartbreaking history of the Toronto Maple Leafs? The puck is in Toronto's court and the pressure is on. What do you think, Leafs Nation? Is Yegor Chinakhov the missing piece this team desperately needs? And what would you be willing to give up to bring him to Toronto? Let us know your thoughts, your trade proposals, and your hopes in the comment section below. Your passion is what makes this community thrive, and we want to hear from every single one of you. If you're as excited as we are about the possibilities this trade could bring, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for all the latest breaking news and in-depth analysis of your Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's keep this conversation roaring.